Good Monday morning. Look around the screen and see if your teammates are on. And if they are not, send them a message, maybe not in a chat, but maybe a personal message and say, it's Monday morning. It's time to open up. Where are you at? Join us. I know that people have stuff going on mornings. They have work, they have jobs, they have all kinds of things. But sometimes they just need a personal invite. Sometimes they need to know that you care. Sometimes they need to know that you're there and they should be there too. All right. So I have a lot to cover. You guys know I love to talk. So I'm going to try to stay organized. But we just came back from an amazing trip. I want to say weekend, but we got there Wednesday. So more than a weekend. Kristen Scott was my guest. And I have to say, I couldn't have chosen, other than my husband or maybe Sydney, a better person. Sorry, Kristen. She's just my sidekick. But Sydney, she filled your shoes well. Um, we had a blast. It's really fun when you can, I heard this saying a long time ago in my first network marketing company: pick people to join your business that are cruise worthy. And what that means is pick someone you could actually be trapped on a ship with for 7 days, hanging out and having a really good time, right? Because you can travel with all kinds of people, but doesn't mean that you want to be trapped in a room with them for 4 days and 4 nights, right? Well, I think Kristen and I had an absolute blast. She's so easygoing. She was so deserving. She helped with locals and team trainings that weren't even hers. She poured into people and was just an absolute blessing to have on the trip with me. So I wanted to say that because I really enjoyed my time with her. I actually texted her last night after we were home for like 5 hours. I was like, I actually already miss you. It's kind of weird. But we had that good of a time. So we got to spend, there was, a lot of people there. There was 6 of us that hung out, pretty much the whole time. Yvonne got to go on this trip and she was an absolute blast. I'll leave it at that. No, I'm just kidding. Yvonne, you were amazing. I know that she learned a ton. I know that I don't think she can be on these at this time on Monday morning, so she can watch the recording later. But for someone like Yvonne to be able to have attended that type of an event this early in her career with Le-Vel is, I'm sure, was quite mind blowing. So that was the first thing I wanted to start with is like the next trip, the next lifestyle getaway. Supposedly they're going to launch details this week. We were really hoping that they were going to launch those details while we were in San Diego, but they did say that those would be coming this week. So I wanted to talk about that for just a second. I know this leadership retreat was not for really everyone to be able to, I never want to say that it's off the table for anybody because anybody can go 200K in 30 days. It's happened in this company. So like, I don't want to say that it's not possible, but that would have been a really big feat for people who are at like just beginning in the business or 4K, or even some of our 12Ks. So it was a different type of trip. It was really for the little bit higher ranks to be able to go and have a leadership meeting with Paul and Jason. But our lifestyle getaways are for anyone to achieve. It's just completely up to you whether you want to work towards them or not, and then attend them or not. And let me put off to the side that I know that not everything that the company throws out are you going to be able to participate in, because people have life things that are going on in different circumstances. So let me put my little disclaimer in there before I offend anyone, okay? Because I have a tendency to do that. Either that or some of us are kind of wimpy and we can't take it. It's one of those two. Yes, I'm fired up this morning, Char. So I look at events like what we just went on, and I think there's a lot of people sitting at home watching and wishing they could have been there. And I don't want that to happen to you on the next lifestyle getaway, because the next one is going to be a trip that just about anybody on this team can qualify for. And when you have that opportunity and you don't seize it, you don't take it, you don't run with it, and you don't attend, you just miss out on so much. And it's not just about like being on the trip and taking a vacation and having a party. It's being able to rub elbows with the other people in the company. It's being able to see how other people interact with their teams. It's being able to hear what's going on in teams that are in Georgia or California or Arizona, people who have teams that span in different places than yours might. what their teams are doing on social media could be different than what we do. It's just a chance to plug in and meet other people, and see who else makes up this company. It was really, really nice because the last few trips, I don't think we've seen Paul and Jason at the same time. And even at convention, Paul had some really important things he had to leave early for. And wasn't able to be at convention the whole time, but we got a lot of both of them this whole trip. And it was nice to see them on a stage, sharing a stage for an extended period of time, pouring into all the leaders in this company, and to see that their vision is still as strong today as it was 10 years ago when they started the company. So that was really nice. You don't get to experience that when you're not there, right? You don't get to experience that kind of stuff. And if you want to be on the leadership retreats similar to this one, let's start with the lifestyle getaways. Okay. So when they launch the qualifications for the next trip, I highly suggest you make a plan, and we'll have like a Zoom or something where we can make a little strategy. The very beginning of my career in this business, we all made like charts that we would put on our wall in our bedroom or our office with check boxes and make it fun and mark off those qualifications as we ran through it and share it with our team. And we made them really fun to get everybody on those trips. I want all of you to be on the next trip. I'm praying the dates are working out for me, because I have only missed 2 trips, and that was during the COVID stuff, because I was still unsure about traveling out of the country for those. This coming October is my son's 16th birthday, and I cannot miss it. So I'm just praying they put this trip on a weekend that I can go and I don't have to miss it. So that's what I'm saying. Life does get in the way sometimes, and it's not possible to attend every single trip every single time. And we all have different reasons for that. But if you find yourself repeatedly not going on them, there's a different issue there. We should be able to take some time and make it to those type of events. And I'll say this and then I'll move on. What I saw in those rooms over this weekend is a different caliber of people. And here's what I mean by that. The people that were on this trip were all mostly the high ranks of the company. They operate differently. They show up differently. They take things way more serious. And they're all treating this like a career path, not a part-time hobby. That was the difference of who was on that trip. And so I bring that back to you because I want you to take a deep look inside and say, am I treating this, or am I just wanting this as a part-time hobby? If that's the case, that's okay. I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that you can't do it like that. You can absolutely do it like that. But if you're one that's wanting something bigger, badder, better, you want to make the good money, even if it's 12K and you just want your auto bonus, that's a pretty decent sized big goal. And treating it like a career path, or like we got to hear from Donna Walton when we were out there, it's her retirement goal to be able to retire at a certain age, but be able to have her car paid for and have an additional income coming in. That's a good size goal. That's saying, hey, once I retire, I don't have to pay for my car payment anymore. And I've got an additional like retirement income coming in outside of what I've worked for my whole life. So the people that are on this trip or on these trips are people who are taking this business seriously. And I want you to really think about how serious you really are taking this business. Are you in and out and in and out and up and down and kind of sort of doing it and then out and then back in, and your team's halfway seeing you show up and then you're out again and then you're in again? That's not going to get you into rooms or onto leadership retreats like this past weekend. It's just not. That's not going to, that may not be your path, but if it is your path, then you have to start taking some of this more serious. It can't be half in, half out. It has to be all in. And when I say all in, I don't mean 80 hours a week. I mean all in on your 10 hours a week, or all in on your 80 hours a week. It just has to be all in, consistently all in, not kind of, sort of, halfway in and halfway out. And when they launch this next trip qualifications, or even before they launch them, I want you to make a decision of whether you're qualifying or not. And if you're qualifying, are you going or not? I want you to set those dates aside as soon as they launch it. And I want you to make a decision on what you are going to do and what you are going to show your team you are going to do. And then do it for the whole 90 days of qualifications. Don't sort of do it for the first 2 weeks and then go, oh, it's getting kind of hard. I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. That is not going to get you into rooms like the San Diego trip. It's not. So I want you to make a choice about that and decide you're going to show up to it. They just a couple of like things that they went over when we were on the trip. They have launched, well, not launched, they have given us some hints to a mortgage bonus. And I know there's a lot of questions about it. We have a lot of questions about it. They did not give us details. It sounded like it's going to be, he talked about around a $3,000 bonus, but they also talked about 2 different tiers. Of course, we all had, 100 ideas. There's no like reason to go down that rabbit hole and try to figure out what they're going to do, because until they launch it, that'll just be kind of a waste of our time. But what I will tell you is this: you want your house paid for? I mean, Donna Walton, I know you might not be able to talk, so you don't have to answer me, but I loved her goal. And when I get to hear those, you guys, I love hearing what people's goals are, small and big and in between. Donna's been with us for a while. She's definitely been, like working at this very part-time because she has a very demanding long hour career, but she is consistent. She is always consistent because she knows, she's very clear about what her goal is. So I can only imagine Donna's thinking, wow, well, that just changed the game a little bit too. So I want to get my car paid for, want to be 12K, want to have a little bit of extra income coming in. But when you retire, wouldn't you like to have your house paid for too? Right. So I'm excited to hear I'm going to make that happen. I'm excited to hear what those details are going to be. They said they would like to try to have it launched by mid-July, but sometimes Jason says stuff like that and then it takes a little longer. So I'm just preparing our team for it. Might not come out in July. But hopefully soon thereafter. We've been waiting on some new ranks. I know that probably doesn't affect a ton of you on this Zoom because we're just working on 12K, 40K, 80K, 200K here. But there are some of us who are very excited about them launching some new bigger ranks. And I think that it continues the vision, because here's the deal, is what I'll say. I think they needed to do this, and they needed to do this a while ago, because I think that you guys watch me, you watch Sydney, you watch Carrie Ann, you watch Jay-Z or Holly or Maria, and it's like, we need something to run for, because I think you guys need to see us running for something, right? So it's not, think about it like this. Well, that's great for you guys. And I know Kristen and I had this conversation. She's like, I wish they put a rank between 12K and 40K. Sorry, Kristen, I'm gonna call you up. Sorry, my phone just rang. Hang on, I lost you guys. I don't know why that just happened. One of the smallest jumps is 12K to 40K. So Kristen and I had that conversation a couple of times, and I don't necessarily agree that there needs to be a rank there. There needs to be new ranks over 200K, because you guys need to see our vision casted again. And because I hit 200K 6.5 years ago or 6 years ago, I haven't had a new rank to run for in 6 years. But think about that. I haven't had a new rank to run for in 6 years, you guys, but I'm still plugging in and in the game and crushing it every single day of my life. So I'm so glad that they're going to create some new ranks, because it gives you also something to say, once I get to 200K, it doesn't mean we stop. We just keep going. And I remember the day that I hit 200K. Well, the next day I had somebody, and I don't remember who it was, that asked me, okay, now what? And I was like, it's a good question. I guess I just go help everybody get to 200K. And that's great. But sometimes we interpersonally need something to run for. You guys are challenged every day by knowing you want to hit that next rank. Well, I haven't had that. So very excited they're going to launch that. We've been hearing about it for a while, so I'm a little eager for them to launch those details. So that's something that's coming soon. There's details coming on a 10-year anniversary trip in Newport Beach. It's September 22nd through the 25th. Definitely put that on your vision board, or this will not go away, this call. You can put that on your vision board. You can also, save the dates in case you want to try to earn that. We don't know what the qualifications are. I'm assuming that's something that's going to launch pretty soon too, so that we can get underway of trying to qualify for that. Like I said, I have no idea what those qualifications are going to be. They could make it based on rank. They could make it based on PPA. I don't know. but I'm sure that's going to be a fabulous trip to be on. I have a trip planned that same exact weekend, so it's a little conflicting for me about whether I'm going to cancel my current plans and try to make that happen. But we'll see once they launch some of the details on it. It is invite only, and I think they said only 100 people are going to be able to attend. So it's going to be a tough one, but definitely well worth it. Jason even mentioned something about having some like famous people there or singers or something. I don't know. They're making it a big deal. Okay, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. I have like 3-4 other topics I want to cover. I don't know what time is it, 8:47. Okay. I don't want to dig deep into social media because it's not my bag. That's Sydney's bag, which just completely bothered me that she wasn't there because of this, because there was a lot there. And she could have probably deciphered a lot more for us. Maybe, Kristen, I was thinking maybe you could be a guest of Sydney's on Wednesday and help cover some of the things that we learned. I want to give you one major takeaway that I got, and that was the links in the stories. And I don't have the stats in front of me. Maybe if Kristen joins Sid on Wednesday, she can spit out the stats on those Wednesday. But links and stories, according to Brock Johnson, is like a almost no because your algorithm is taken down by it. And here's why, because, and this is true with anything you do on social media, please, we've been telling people this for a while and I still see it on some of your guys' stuff. Do not put links to anything that takes you off of their platform in any posts. In your newsfeed and now in your stories, that link feature is nice, but if it takes you off of Instagram or takes you off of Facebook, they hide you. They hide your posts, they hide your reels, they hide your stories, putting links and embedding links right in there, even though I was like, I don't get it. Why do they give us that feature then? Right? Like, why is that feature there? So it is what it is, but he gave stats. I'll let Kristen share that maybe Wednesday. Sorry, Sid, if you had something very specific planned Wednesday, I did not mean to railroad your topic or anything like that, but if it works, it works. If not, we'll have Kristen maybe give you guys more of an update. But that was a big eye opener for me because I put links in my stories all the time. But his suggestion, just as a quick suggestion, and these guys can give you more details on how they suggest it, but a suggestion was, ask the questions that you want to ask, put the stuff in your stories, but then ask them to message you for the link, for the code, for the whatever it is, because the more they see people direct messaging you from your stories, the more that they're going to show your stories, because they realize that your stories are making people interact on their platform. So you have to think of Instagram and Facebook and all the other platforms like a business, right? What do they want? They want more users. They want you interacting. They want you using all their features. They want you using them. They do not want you leaving. They want you tuned in to Instagram or to Facebook all day, every day. You are their customers. You are consuming. They don't want you to leave. So if you're taking their people off their platform, they are going to hide you. So please, the biggest one I see is when people make a post and right in their post, they put their link. And I'm like, we've been saying this for like 4 years now. Don't do that. It immediately drops your numbers of who they're going to allow to see that post. I know you're thinking, well, they see my post, I want them to go right to my link. Well, Facebook doesn't want that. So if you're going to give them your link, do it in the first comment, right after you make your post, go back, comment, put your link, just not in your post. Okay, so that was literally my biggest takeaway from the social media stuff. TikTok was a much longer training there, and they gave us a whole workbook that Kristen's like, we were all like, too much information too fast. Sydney, you would have freaking loved it. I have the workbook. I'll share it with you when you come over later. It was a lot to take in. I think that training was probably for a person like Sydney and not for a person like me. It was a little bit too much information, but extremely valid, good information. I'm kind of hoping what they did was, I saw the cameras in the back of the room, so I'm pretty hopeful that they recorded that training and then we'll release it to everyone. It was 90 minutes of complete like fire hose information on TikTok. And the girl was good. She just it was just too much. It was just too much for us. So I can't even really give you any of my takeaways from TikTok because we were getting a little bit distracted during that training. But it was a lot of really great information. And it just goes to show that there is a lot of business tools and usage for TikTok. We just have to figure out, like, I'm not the person that really wants to be dancing and lip syncing and doing all of that. Like, I'll do some reels and some TikToks that fit with my business model. I want to learn how to use TikTok where I can utilize its features and functions to promote my business, but not in a creepy way. That's just me. Some people love to do the dancing and all of those things. That's just not me. And I don't want to be somebody that's not me. But what I learned from her training is there is a lot you can do in just a very business type realm to use that platform. So I'm going to stop on that because I'm not your social media guru. What I will tell you, and I'm going to say this over and over and over, do not spend your time using features, tools, bells, whistles on social media that are not going to give you a return on your investment of time. You know your audience, you know where they live, pick a path, be passionate about it, be purposeful about it, and make sure that that's where your audience is living and that you're going to be able to tap into and then retrieve the leads from whatever you're doing. Because I can see us scattering all over the place, trying to do 100 different things, and then none of it's working. So figure out what your focus is and work on that path until you master it and you're bringing in leads and contacts from that source. We go scatter ourselves across all these platforms, trying to learn all of the different tools, bells and whistles. Social media in itself is one tool in your toolbox, only one. So if you're scattering, let's say you have 2 hours a day to work on your business. If you're scattering your 2 hours a day across 5 platforms on social media, or even 3, and you're not focusing on at least 1 and 1.5 of those hours on very direct communication and contact with your audience, you're just spinning wheels, and those income producing activities are not actually producing income. Okay. So get really focused on what you're doing and make sure the thing that you are doing is bringing you back communication, contacts, leads, sales, conversion into what you're wanting. Okay. And both of the social media experts that were there on stage said the same thing. And that social media is just one tool in your toolbox. And then inside that one tool, there's, 5 different things to pick from, but it's one tool in a network marketer's toolbox. And as of late, the last couple of years, I think we're thinking of Facebook as a tool, Instagram as a tool, TikTok as a tool, Lives as a tool, Reels as a tool. And then we're spending all of our time trying to hit all of those things. And that's where people are just slowing down in their business because, as Sydney says, confused people do nothing. And so you're confusing, number one, your audience, you're confusing yourself, you're confusing your brand, and you're trying to do too many things in one day and not actually getting samples out, doing your follow-up, reaching out, contacting, and talking to people. Dancing on TikTok might be fun for you, but unless you're talking to those people after your dance show, it's not purposeful and it's not going to get you what you want. Okay, I'm going to launch a promo. I've got 5 minutes left. This is hilarious. I'm terrible, you guys. I think what I'll do is give you a little snippet and overview of this, and then I will put a graphic together as soon as we get off of here and post it for the contest. It's going to be 10 days. I still have to determine exactly the prizes, but what I think I'm going to do is I have an $800 kit. I'm going to split in half and give a $400 kit to 2 people. I think I need to talk to Carrie Ann too, because I know she was going to maybe like join forces with me and her other side of her team and see if we could all do it together. But here, I don't want to slow down for that. So Paul said something on stage this weekend that I was like, I wish you would have said this 7 years ago to me. It's like one of those things, something he's preached for a really long time, that not that I didn't take it serious. It just was kind of like, okay, yeah, I get it. You said, write it down 17 times. But he actually put some like data behind this weekend. And I was like, well, if you would have told me that 7 years ago, I would have paid more attention to it. It's one of those things. I needed the validation. So it's about free customer accounts. And we've kind of gone back and forth on those because then sometimes the company runs those like $30 credit promos or $20 credit promos. And then you're like, but my people are already in the system. But we can't wait for those. We haven't even run one of those in a number of months. So all of this whole time we're just sitting there on these free customer accounts we could be putting in the system. But here's what I will say. He said that when we're putting in free customer accounts, so take like 100, you put in 100 free customer accounts. He said, then these are the real numbers. Out of every free account, customer promoter, whatever, out of every free account, 27% end up in a sale. So if you put in 100 free customer accounts, the company's numbers, 27% end up in a sale. He said over the course of the last like month or so, or I would say 13 days or so, since they've had this like big influx of people putting in customer accounts because of the promo that's going on with the company, the summer games, he said there's a couple days they reached 45%. Yeah, wow. Right. So we all looked at each other like, shit. Sorry, excuse my French. That's too early on a Monday morning, but that's what went through my brain. Okay. Why we need to do this. Okay. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put a promo together for free customer accounts. We are going to work on this. We're going to do 10 days because I found that contests that are any longer than that, people tend to like get sidetracked and forget that they're even going on. So I want to do a contest starting today, or a challenge starting today. Let me go back to my other notes where I wrote some of this out. Here we go. This is going to be kind of the stipulations. Like I said, I'm going to put this on a graphic. So 10 days free, 50 free access accounts. They can be customer or promoter. I don't really care. You will need to track them though, and you will need to be able to screenshot them somewhere, because if you win, I need to see them in your cloud. So it will run Monday through Sunday, the 13th through the 22nd. We must have at least 10 people get to the 50 for it to actually launch a giveaway, a prize. I am not going to do this if one person tries. So get with your teams, make sure everybody's doing it, get with your sideline, make sure we have some accountability here. And if at least 10 participants in that 10 days gets to 50, then the prizes will unlock. Okay. So we'll have 2 winners. We're going to have the person with the most free customer accounts over 50 will be one of those winners. And then 1 randomly drawn people from all who hit at least 50. Okay. I've put a board together with some scripts. I will share that in the team chat right after we're done here. If I forget, just ping me. But I did put a board together with like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 scripts for you guys to get started with, because what I don't want to see is a lot of people just going out and posting on Facebook like, I'm in a contest to get your email address. Enter your information here. Do you know how many people are going to unfriend you for that, you guys? Like, no one cares about the contest you've been entered in. No one cares. I mean, your grandma might, but no one really on social media wants to like give you their email address because you're running for a $400 kit. They just don't. So you're just going to scare people away from you. So get in your messenger. I'm not saying you can't make a post, because part of this is going to be, I'm going to give away a $50 Amazon gift card. So all of the people that you entered, you need to create a list. And I mean a very easy copy and paste, like name, first name, last name list, because I am not going to draw names if you screenshot me and I have to go and retype all your names. Like, you are going to have to copy paste me the list so I can grab all the names and put them in a name picker. Okay. But I'm going to, I'm going to say this right now, because I won't chase people. If you screenshot me a picture of a list, your people will not get entered. Okay. Make this easy for me. So at the end of this 10 days, I need an actual copy paste of a list that I can copy and paste into a name picker. If that doesn't make sense to you, get with your sponsor so they can explain it better. But I don't want any screenshots of pictures of a list that I would have to retype. So I'm going to give away a $50 Amazon gift card. I'm going to do that so you can use it in your scripts. You'll see it in the scripts. So I went to Kimberly Rogers. I don't think she's on here this morning, but she did because she's participating in the company promo. So she did a really good post about, hey, I'm giving away, she did it herself. I'm giving away a $50 gift card. I think it was a $50 gift card, Amazon. And I can't remember exactly what the verbiage she used, doesn't matter. And she got a lot of email addresses from that. So can you make a post like that? Sure, you can. Just don't make it about you, make it about them. That's all I'm going to say. Make it about your audience, not about what you're going to be winning or what you're going to be earning, because people just aren't, they're just going to run from you. So I put it in a script though, so that you can message it to people, because I believe getting in direct message with people is a faster way to what you want. And the way I have it in scripts actually shows that you're wanting to get them information and you're wanting them to be rewarded for that information, not you. Okay, so I will get you the rest of the details on what you're going to win exactly, but I will tell you that it's going to be 2 winners. Person with the most free customer accounts starting today, not the company promo. This is a team promo. So it starts today and it goes through the end of the 22nd. And then 1 randomly drawn person for all of you who hit at least 50. So guys, that's 5 new free access accounts a day for the next 10 days. That is not hard. If you think that's hard, we've got another conversation to have. Okay. So I know that 50 seems like a big number, but you have 10 days to do it. Don't wait till day 9. Let's start now and try to get 5 each day. And if 27% is the company average, then we should be getting some orders out of this, right? So one last thing I'll say, I know it's past 9 o'clock. Do you guys know if you have, let's just say, I'm terrible at math, so I'm gonna get my calculator out. Let's say 2 people on your team plus you go out and get 50 free accounts. So 3 times 50 means 150 new accounts times 27%. 150 accounts times 27%. That's not right. 40 new orders? No, I can't be right. 27. Yeah, that could be 40 new orders for you. And that, I'm not saying, Paul never said that meant that there was going to be 27% of those 100 turned into orders the next day. This is going to be over time too, right? So I want you to think about that. How many people do you want participating in this challenge on your team that are underneath you? Do you have 4 people? Do you have 5 people? Do you have 10 people? 10 times 50 is 500 new customer or promoter accounts underneath you. Okay. So this is another reason to be intentional, not just go out there and grab anybody and everybody's email address just because you're trying to win. Be intentional about these 50 people. It's 5 people a day. Those 5 people a day should also be people that you're trying to get samples out to, right? So let's not just go ask, Susan's cousin's sister's brother's dog for their email address. Okay. Let's make this like legitimate, real, live email addresses from people who could be potential customers from you or promoters from you. All right, I'll leave you with that, guys. I'll dump some things in the chat. I'll get a graphic made for that, but just know that it starts now and get your team on board. And I will also share the boards in there. I hope you guys have a fabulous Monday, and let's hope this trip qualification thing comes out like today, because I'm dying to know the dates. Bye, guys.